You've heard the whispers. Maybe you've even felt the dread yourself. You're sitting there wondering if a completely private habit is quietly destroying your body, ruining your ability to perform, making you lose your hair, or completely draining your testosterone. It forces a serious question. Is solo play a natural way to relieve stress, or a hidden biological destroyer sabotaging your health? This chart shows exactly how widespread this practice is. 90% of men and 75% of women engage in solo play on a regular basis. Yet, despite those massive numbers, a huge portion of the population operates in a state of constant, secret anxiety. Millions of people are carrying around a heavy psychological burden for no reason, simply because they lack a basic biological understanding of how their own reproductive systems actually function. Before we look at the actual human anatomy involved here, I want you to think about the absolute craziest, most unscientific rumor you've ever heard about touching yourself. Drop it in the comments below because we're about to clear the air. Welcome to Biology and Health. Our objective is to strip away societal shame and connect rigorous medical science directly to your daily life. By the end of this breakdown, you will have a clear, fear-free blueprint to understand exactly what happens to your body during climax, relying strictly on biology. Let's start with the immediate chemical reaction. When you engage in solo play, your body releases a massive flood of specific hormones designed to make you feel good. It physically lowers your heart rate afterward, acts as a natural sleep aid, and burns off accumulated stress. This diagram shows a cross-section of the brain lighting up during that process. The primary driver here is dopamine. It's a neurotransmitter that serves as your body's built-in reward mechanism, jumping across synaptic gaps to signal pure physical satisfaction. Knowing how simple that chemical process is, it's almost comical to look back at historical warnings. For generations, people were told that doing this would make them go blind or cause hair to sprout on their palms. There is precisely zero anatomical tissue connecting your reproductive organs to the hair follicles on your hands or to your optic nerve. Think about the math. With 90% of men and 75% of women doing this regularly, if those physical side effects were real, we would currently be surrounded by a global population of blind people with exceptionally furry hands. Those bizarre physical warnings were never based on medical observation. They were crafted centuries ago as societal control mechanisms to police private behavior. But modern fears have evolved. Today, the most common anxiety is that regular solo play wears out your hardware and directly causes erectile dysfunction. The biology tells a different story. Reaching climax actively engages your pelvic floor. These muscles contract rhythmically, and just like hitting the gym, this acts as highly targeted physical exercise. A strong pelvic floor is exactly what your body requires to maintain firm, lasting performance. Then there's the hormone question. Does finishing the act permanently drain your testosterone reserves, leaving you depleted? Take a look at this graph tracking hormone levels over time. As you actively engage, your testosterone doesn't drop. It experiences a sharp upward spike. Once over, that level simply normalizes back to your starting baseline. Your body's long-term reserves remain intact. Strictly looking at the mechanics, you aren't destroying your body. You are engaging in an act that builds localized muscle strength and safely regulates your hormonal balance. But we have to address the reality in front of us. If the biological hardware works perfectly, why are thousands of healthy people experiencing very real performance failures when they finally get into the bedroom? The biological hardware remains perfectly sound. The actual interference comes from the digital software of hyperstimulating, easily accessible pornography. When you expose your brain to rapid-fire digital novelty every single day, you trigger desensitization. You literally rewire your brain to expect extreme visual inputs, making the slower, more subtle reality of a real human partner feel underwhelming by comparison. Right next to that software issue is the malware, the toxic weight of guilt and shame. When internal or societal pressure tells you that what you are doing is inherently wrong, you introduce massive amounts of performance anxiety to the equation. It is that exact combination, your brain being hijacked by a screen, combined with intense psychological distress, that completely destroys sexual function and drives depression. The physical act of touching yourself was never the problem. When you finally remove the endless tabs of adult content and drop the outdated shame, the entire picture changes. Approaching your own body with a moderated, completely guilt-free mindset allows you to really understand your own physical responses. Far from ruining relationships, this self-awareness helps you know exactly how your body reacts under pressure, leading to stronger, deeply connected intimacy with a partner. It is time to step into reality. If you know a friend or a partner who is quietly carrying this anxiety, send them this video. Help them understand their own biology. Sexual health functions as a direct influence on your daily energy and mood. To keep upgrading your understanding of how your body works, hit that subscribe button and check out these next videos on how dopamine and testosterone actually dictate your biology.